What's up, everybody? So we're back with another Shop Talk Tuesday. Now we got the roof finished, so roof is on here, which is perfect because it is actually raining and it has just started raining right now. So all of that is going to stay outside of the shop because we were able to get that part done. So that's all finished up. Now one of the things that I need to work on is kind of clearing out the shop just a little bit, getting rid of this little temporary wall thing, move everything back a little bit so that I can actually start the fantasy build. Now, I don't know how much of that I'm going to put in this video. I am going to show y'all the actual start process where I've got to take the leaf spring that I'm going to be forging it out of and making it out of. There's going to be like little bits of forging in this. There's going to be some stock removal. There's going to be a bunch of texture creating and stuff like that on this particular build. So like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna get done in this episode because I kind of have to plan a few things out, but I figured I would go ahead and show y'all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, like I said, don't know what we're gonna get to on it, but let's get in there. Let's get this stuff moved back so that we can actually work on that. Yeah, let's get it. Okay. So we've got a bunch of 5160 here. This is what we're going to be using for the actual fantasy build. Now, we're going to be using this chunk right here. This is just a cutoff from one of these bigger leaf springs that I have right here. Now, I've used this material for things like the kukri that we just got done doing and a lot of other builds. This is all that's left from one whole set of these leaf springs right here. Now I've got other ones back here. I've got the Willys Jeep leaf spring. I've already used a whole set of this, and I've already started cutting into this piece that's right here. So we've got a lot, a lot left of this, but I've used a ton of it. Now, got a whole bunch of extra 5160, plus I've got some more coil springs and everything that are in my other shop, but we're gonna be using this right here for the actual fantasy build. Now, I could have easily just went through and, I say easily, not easily. I could have done Damascus like a lot of people are doing, but for the scale of knife that I'm gonna be making, mini sword, I don't have the machinery or the body power to make a Damascus build that big without using something like a power hammer or a press. So I'm going to be doing mono steel. Now, of course, we're going to be doing the 5160. I'm going to be doing a cool post-apocalyptic / like World of Warcraft style mini sword, huge knife thing. So it's going to look absolutely awesome. We're going to be focusing on textures like I typically do. A lot of different textures are going to be going into this. There's going to be a lot of cool aspects. There's going to be file work. There's going to be a lot of stuff that goes into it to achieve the overall look that we're going to get. So it's going to be something else. Now, like I said earlier, I don't know how much we're going to do in this particular episode. My goal is to get at least this cut down and get a rough forging. Of course, make it flat because it's not flat right now. It's, you know, got a nice curve to it. This does have a little taper to it. I am going to be utilizing that for the tip area, and then I'm going to be forging a little bit more down so that it kind of has a natural taper to it. But we got to get this flat, got to get that taper, you know, lined up, and then we got to get some of the stuff removed and get it set up to where I can start turning it into a knife / sword / thing. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to cut out some of the stuff that we need to cut out, and then we're going to put it in the forge and start hammering on some stuff. Let's do it. Alright, so before we actually get into the whole forging part of this, I do want to give y'all an idea about the difference in scale. So the difference in size from where I was forging prior to this shop. Now, we were in a 11 by 11 that was next to my 12 by 12, which this is attached to. The 11 by 11, which you wouldn't think that's much smaller than a 14.5 by 16.5 foot shop, but it is. It's quite a bit different. All the stuff that you see right here was housed in that 11 by 11, and then I also had a workbench. I had jack stands, jacks, a hydraulic press for pressing in bearings. I had, you know, all my lawn equipment, all that stuff, all in that little bitty shop. Now with this, pretty much everything that's right here would have taken up that whole entire shop, and now we actually have room to back up and forge a little bit away from the actual forge itself. So we can actually hammer here. I can pull this out here. I can pull it outside if I want to, all of that. Plus we have all of this extra room here, and all of this extra room back off over here. I didn't have any of this prior to the actual, expansion of this. And plus we have out here the whole entire 8-foot by 14.5 feet pad, which is huge. I didn't have that before. So now I can pull everything out there and have a blast, do whatever I gotta do. Same thing with what you saw with me cutting the steel down and being able to use the angle grinder outside the shop as opposed to in the shop, which is absolutely awesome. So this is amazing. Now, this is gonna be the first time that I actually get to really forge anything in here. Now, of course, we're not full-blown forging this knife to shape. We've got a whole bunch of builds where you're gonna get to see me do things like that. I've got some stuff that I'm gonna forge with integral bolsters. I've got all kinds of stuff that we're gonna be forging once we actually get everything up and running in here. But this is gonna be the first time that y'all get to really see me forge something in here with the roof over my head. So let's go ahead, let's get this going. These bits right here are absolutely worth it. I've spent plenty of time trying to use step bits and all of these different things to be able to get a hole cut through things for finger holes for my karambits and all that. Look at that. How smooth that is on the inside there. Absolutely perfect. Worth it. I got that from Harbor Freight. Just a little Hercules brand bit right there. 100% worth it. I'll leave a link for this in the description below if y'all want to grab one. Alright guys, let's go ahead and wrap this Shop Talk Tuesday up here. So, I know I'm only giving y'all kind of like the highlights of what we've done so far to this point on this particular build, but y'all will get to see the actual full-blown build whenever I release the, the challenge video where I actually show the whole process of making this. Now, I'm going to stop it right here because this will give you at least an idea of where I'm going with this, and I will do a couple of other parts on this for the actual Shop Talk Tuesday, but I'm not going to do the whole entire build through the Shop Talk Tuesday series, primarily because I still have another knife to finish, but the whole point behind this is just to give you a little bit of, a little bit of something going on here, so it wasn't all just shop build, but just so that you can kind of see the direction that I'm going to go with this particular fantasy build. Now, this is still nothing near what I'm going to be doing with the whole entire build process. I mean, you got this big old bone as the handle. I'm going to be doing a bunch of things that I've never done before on a knife on this particular one. And if you don't think that this is a very big weapon, of course, a lot of y'all probably do, but for some people who think that whenever I say like a small sword, that this right here doesn't classify as a small sword because it's just a big knife or something. So the handle alone, this is just the handle. This is a full-size EDC. Full tang, fixed blade EDC. It is the size of the handle. And the handle is just part of the whole entire knife. So I mean, this is gonna be a very, very, very big thing, and I'm really excited about doing these almost like scales that I'm gonna do up here, because they're gonna be like actual like 3D looking. They're all these little areas are gonna be ground down and filed, so there's gonna be a lip all the way going back here. I'm gonna have a full cool texture on the bevels. We're gonna have texture back here with that ball peen hammer finish that I do all in this area. I'm gonna be using copper. I'm gonna be using sinew. There's gonna be leather and fur on the sheath. It's gonna be a really cool build when it's all said and done, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of file work and stuff like that on this too, so hopefully y'all are excited about that. Now, when it comes to the shop build, the stuff that I have going forward on that particular project is things like pulling the trim off of this 12x12, painting the whole entire building, and then going ahead and installing doors, and then retrimming everything, and then doing some more painting. Stuff like that's got to get done. So if I decide to do a video for that for Shop Talk Tuesday, it'll be something that has a lot in it. And then if not, it's going to be a knife build. So we'll see how that goes moving forward until the shop is finished and we can actually start working on the inside, where you're going to see me building workbenches and kind of playing with the layout, with what makes sense, and hopefully that'll help you all with how you can lay out your shops and stuff like that. But guys, that's the end of this one. If you would, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all next time.